Hey guys, welcome back to channel Positive Cleaning, and this is going to be my 3-month review of the Atom and also of the Micro Destroyer. So the reason why I'm doing that is because I know for content I should have 2 separate videos. I just kind of want to put everything into one video just to make it a little bit simple and make it so that it's easy just to kind of go back and forth on both of the products, right, in a sense. But yeah, because as you guys know, so for me, I like the Micro series when it comes to the water fed poles. I have the Micro Basic, then the Micro Ultralight. That's kind of all I had. And then for when it comes to systems, all I had was the X2, which essentially is the Pure Max, right? So I've had my X2 since like 2020, and I got everything at the same time, so it actually works out perfectly. So my Micro Basic, or was it 2021? I don't really remember, but it was around that time, 2020, 2021, that I got all my setup, my water fed setup, like that next upgrade. And yeah, like, so one thing I did notice though, talking about just the Atom, is that so with the X2, every single job I'll always use the over the top rinse bar, which is great. The only thing is that I would always tell people, oh, just use the over the top rinse bar, over the top rinse bar. I even have a video I'm like blasting water and people are like, how do you have all that pressure? And I'm just like, you know, I just connect my system. They're using a pump. No, I just use my X2. Now that I have my Atom, I've noticed that, and it does say that, like, you know, when you buy the system, it says it does half a gallon a minute, whereas the X2 or the Pure Max is a gallon or a gallon and a half a minute, depending on the water flow. Now it all makes sense why a lot of you guys are asking me that question. And that's another reason why I kind of wanted to buy the Atom too. I mean, obviously it fits better in the truck, but I can relate to you guys better. But I've noticed that now all I do is use pencil jets. Like, I don't use over the top rinse bar like hardly ever, because before was like, I would always use the over the top rinse bar, which I highly suggest. It's like the best way to clean windows, especially when they're like super dirty, especially like when you're trying to do the sills too and trying to clean that. But ever since I got the Atom, I hardly ever use the over the top rinse bar, unless like there's no meter on the water or whatever, and like the water just blasts a lot of water, then that's great. But when it's like a normal job, I normally just do pencil jets, and I'm starting to like pencil jets a lot. To be honest, I've always done the over top rinse bar because, you know, I kind of had everything at once. My X2 and the basic, Micro Basic, and I would always just use the over top rinse bar, never use pencil jets. I thought it was like a waste. But now with the Atom, I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm also seeing the benefits of actually using pencil jets, because the over top rinse bar is great, but here in Pasadena, the windows themselves, like sometimes they have like a gap, and the over top rinse bar would go inside of that. I think it was very rare that happened, but it can happen if you're not like cautious, if that makes sense. Because again, I'm doing all this and I kind of know how things are like after a while, but when you're going and you kind of go too high in the frame and then it goes over, because a couple of you guys asked me like, Andy, why don't you clean all the way to the top of the frame? It's because of that. The water goes inside, kind of, you know, how does the water go, and go through the little crack or whatever of the window, and then the frame of the house, and goes inside and gets the inside windows wet, right? So trying to avoid that, but never really been a problem, because I, you know, I kind of keep cautious. So I clean the frame, but not the top frame, but the rest of the window I clean. But it works pretty much every job because all the houses are like that. But I've noticed, like in commercial buildings and also to just houses that kind of have that commercial feel, it's actually better not to use the over top rinse bar. It's actually better just to use the pencil jets, because when you're shooting water, and I give an experience too, I actually did a commercial property here that I used the over top rinse bar, and they had their sills are broken or something, I don't know what, but it was always like absorbing the water with the over top rinse bar. So when I was cleaning with the over top rinse bar and I left, right, they said everything was fine, I left. The next day they're like, Andy, there's streaks of water coming down. I had to go back, which is not a problem, that's my policy. I cleaned everything up and I used pencil jets this time, and it actually turned out as a better results, because when you use the over top rinse bar, it can hit the frame of the window. Even though that one I did clean the frame, still like some water would seep in and then it would just get stuck and it would come down, leave marks. So when I use pencil jets, that kind of avoided that. So again, you can go back and forth, right, of how much you use or whatever. But yeah, with the Atom, I just been using pencil jets and I'm kind of getting used to it, honestly. Like, I don't really use the over top rinse bar anymore, because I don't have that great of a pressure. Now, do I say that that's like a biggest downfall of the system? No, not really. I mean, you know, maybe other places they have more water, but for me, I'm fine with the pencil jets. You had to get used to it, you know, because I'm used to the over top rinse bar. But because essentially it's just like 4 pencil jets or 2 pencil jets, depending on how your brick is of your brush. But the over top rinse bar is like 23, I think, 23 little pencil jets, if you want to put it that way. But Honestly, I really like it a lot because of the like movability and how light it is compared, and also fits in the back of my trunk and the truck bed. And really, I feel like that has made a difference on my back, my shoulders, my arms, everything, because there's times when I'm going downstairs. Imagine taking the big old X2 system and going down. It's a lot of stress on your body, but with this one, just to pull it out, put it in, go downstairs is very easy, very smooth, nothing really too much to worry about. Now, if I had to start over and I had to pick one of the two, and let's say it's not the Atom, let's just say it's just a regular pure system, I would say maybe just, yeah, for sure go with just the pure, because unless, you know, maybe you have a little bit of smaller trunk space, then get the Atom. But let's just say the pure versus the pure max, I would say get the pure first, because save some money. That extra money that I would do, maybe it's a couple $100 to $1,000 more to get the max. You can use that for supplies and, like, you know, just other things to make your you know, your setup easier. You know, you can get a hose reel with that, you can get a screen cleaner, you know, like other add-on services, just say too. But that's how I see it. Now, I'm very happy getting the X2 first because, you know, I saved the money and that's what I wanted, okay. But if I had to say, hey, money is like, I'm on a budget, I want to just make sure I get the best, but try to be, you know, trying to save some money to buy other things, get the pure. It's great, but in this case, the Atom, I really like it a lot because they're essentially the same, it's just the size is different. But I really like it a lot. But if I had to start all over, it's tough because I do a couple of commercial jobs and I never have had to use a pump, so I probably would get the X2. But if I was just doing strictly residential, same situation, right, but strictly residential, I would definitely go with the Atom because that thing is awesome. I'm like, I don't even like think about it twice. I just go, take it out, put it back in, clean the windows, use the pencil, just boom, 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 done deal. So I really like it a lot. Again, if I'm not doing commercial, where would I start? I would get probably the Atom because of obviously my trunk space, because literally it would be the same problem again if I were to get the pure. Xero Pure, it would go kind of like in an angle and it'll kind of block things off, whereas the Atom just fits in perfectly. So I will probably get that one if I was strictly residential with zero commercial that are 3, 4, 5 stories high. So that's kind of that. And I guess I could cheat too because I can just use pencil jets on that too. But anyways, that's on that. But now the Micro Destroyer. Now that is a beast. There's a reason why they call it Destroyer. It's a little bit heavy. It's lighter than the Micro, the basic, but the Destroyer, so I'm gonna just say everything's the Micro, okay? And when I talk about Destroyer, ultralight, and basic, they're all the Micro series, because I might not say Micro, we're just focusing on Micro, right? But I would say the Destroyer is probably like one of my favorite poles, just because of just how, just overall, like, it's really like firm, you know, like when you're cleaning windows in a difficult angle, it's really good. I can go, like, let's say like that, like I always mention that there's like that roof and the windows in the back and you can't walk on the roof, then you have that. The basic is like the worst because it's like too, like it bends too much. But with the Destroyer, you can just go, be very firm, but it is kind of like on the heavier side, right? So I really like it a lot. It has saved me so much this year. There's a couple of windows that I can already think of off the top of my head. I'm like, yeah, if I would have had the ultralight or the basic, would have worked. But man, I saved so much time and energy because I had the Destroyer. There was one job in particular I've been doing now for a couple years, and I just got the Destroyer. It was like perfect timing too. It was like I just got the Destroyer and I was going, I cleaned all those windows like super easy. It was like super easy just to go, like, and then it just, you know, I know it sounds funny, but just that bend itself just really makes a difference on your shoulders, your body, and everything, and your fatigue, right? But when I did this job with the Destroyer, it just made it so much easier, and I was just like, man, why was I complaining before? But then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, it's a new pole. So, but yeah, I would say that now talking about the pole series, I really like the ultralight. I think it's probably, that's my favorite, personal favorite. Nothing against the basic, nothing against the Destroyer. This is an honest review too, okay? So I just want to let you guys know. I should have said in the beginning of the video, but this is an honest review, okay? There's no one telling me what to say or anything like that. All my videos pretty much are for me, okay? Just want to let you guys know. Just always have that in the peace of mind whenever I talk about things. You know, I always want to be honest, and I kind of always want to have this channel be that way, okay? So from now into the future, I always want to make sure I'm always honest with you guys and straightforward. But now, My favorite pull out of 3 is the ultralight still. It's still because it's just everyday use. I would do water fed every single day. I don't do any traditional. I just did a traditional job actually last week, but that was like super easy. But 9 times, if not 10 times out of 10, this whole 100K journey, now I'm thinking about it, was pretty much all water fed. So I'm just letting you know, I use water fed every day. I do it for maybe 1 or 2 jobs a day, you know. So for me, that ultralight is gonna make the difference for me, because that's something that I want to use every day, and I don't have to worry about the heaviness and you know, having all this other stuff. But the destroyer is on the heavier side. It is great when you try to get those difficult angles, but at the same time, it's gonna have a little bit more, like, you know, because it's heavier, it's gonna be a little bit more on your shoulders and all that. I know it sounds kind of funny, but the destroyer is great for, like, if you just want one pull for everything, then go for that. But if you want like an everyday pull, I would say the ultralight is like the way to go. But if you're on a budget, micro basic should be everyone's go-to. I think that's like the best pull. It's less than $1,000 and it's, I don't regret it. I still use it from time to time because I use it with the universal extender. I put it on that. Yeah, I already have the setup. Just go with my points, but I do use it from time to time with the universal extender, and that works out perfectly. But yeah, the destroyer, I would say that I think when you grow your business, it's good to have all 3 pulls, because obviously you should start off with the basic, right? The first pull, but then the second pull would be, you know, like, you know, the ultralight, I feel, right? The second pull. Now, if you're doing high, like let's say I have a job next week and I don't have any of these pulls, right? And it's like 5 stories high, I'll get the destroyer 100%. Just go that way, right? Because you're going to thank me later, because when it has higher windows, go for that. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. But I'm just talking about everyday 2-3 story houses, 1 or 2 occasionally difficult windows. That's what I'm trying to get at. Ultralight is my all-time favorite. I think if there's a way that they can even have something even lighter, I probably would buy that one for a micro series. But I'm just so glad I have the destroyer, because one thing it's good for you guys to keep in the back of your mind too is that you don't have to have a pull for every single job, if that makes sense. Like, you don't need an all-for-one pull, and that's why I kind of said like the ultralight is mine for that. But it's also good if you wanted to diversify and have like the basic, you know, maybe use that for the trad pull, or, you know, try to use it for, you know, something, because I don't know, just when you first start off, right, you have that pull. But like the ultralight, I use it for like everyday jobs, and then like when I have to use just like a regular like difficult jobs, I already have the destroyer like ready to go. So it's nice because with the, especially with the brushes, you can clip and unclip. It makes a huge difference. It's not the end of the world when you have to, you know, like try to take it off and then have to redo everything. It's just super easy to do that. But I think it's been great to have all 3. But at the same time, I would say that the destroyer saved me a lot this year. There's a couple of jobs I'm looking forward to next year, because I did in the beginning of this year, that I want to use next year and see how those work. But just on that one job alone that I was mentioning earlier, that had that roof thing, yeah, it just makes a difference, especially like I said, if those difficult angles or a very high angled building, yeah, then the destroyer is the best, because then when you start going like this, you know, it's not going to bend as much. But yeah, no, I would say the destroyer, I really like it a lot, and I think, you know, everyone should have it. You know, once you get to that point of your business that you're like, you know, you have a little bit of extra money to like spend on certain things, I think it's going to be a great add-on to your collection. Again, if let's say we're not doing high buildings or anything like that, would I get that pull first? I would say no. Okay, just because of the price, and you can get other appliances and other equipment and all that for your business. But if you had all the money in the world, yeah, I mean, and you're doing really high buildings, then probably get that. But I think my order would be, you know, if you had to start off, would be like kind of what I did: micro, basic, ultralight, and destroyer. Now, if you had a little bit of extra money, maybe you could just get the ultralight and then the destroyer. You don't have to get the micro. It's double the price pretty much, but again, it's worth it because I'm using it every single day. But yeah, that's kind of like my review. Looking back at it, are they worth the price? 100%, 100%. I would say they're totally worth the price. I really like it a lot. Just have to get used to the pencil jets, but I really like it a lot. I don't even think, like, to be honest with you guys, ever since I've been using the Atom, I've never said, oh man, I should put the X2 back in my, no. And then with the Destroyer, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I know I said I love the ultralight. Sometimes I like, because it's brand new, the Destroyer is like my newest pull, I like to still use it even though it's like a one-story house. So, because I like the feel, I love that it's like new, you know. So but even though I should be like, I should use the ultralight, you know, but I still like to use the Destroyer. But again, I have that ability to use all three, right? But again, if I had to start off, yeah, I would say in that order: the Micro, the ultralight, and the Destroyer. But yeah, anyways, that's like kind of like my 3-month review on both of the products. If you would like to buy any of this stuff, you know, I'll have links to both of them in the description down below. And if you purchase any of one of the two, or if not both, through my links, it will help out this channel out a lot. And yeah, I'm really tired. Yeah, it's been a long year. It's still December 31st, end of the year. And yeah, and also too, I was snowboarding yesterday, and today I had to work, so I think I'm a little bit getting tired. But I want to make these videos for you guys because, you know, I know you guys like to have all this content and stuff and know what's what. But both, if I had to say, both purchases, are they worth the price? 100%. And don't regret either one. But now my wife's calling me. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and catch you guys in the next one. Bye.